Welcome back again, everybody, if you couldn't hear me before. So next up, we've got Coach Al. He's a motivational speaker, consultant. He's done a lot of work with different communities, working to help communities build the world that they want to live in. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Coach Al.
All right. Can you guys hear me? We're good? We're good. Thumbs up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Man, when I hear he's a motivational speaker, I'm still like, okay, that means I got to motivate. And it's not something that you can just apply for, right? You can't just walk into a building and say, I want to be a motivational speaker. I've been taught that you can only give what you have, meaning if you don't have it, you can't give it to people. People will know it's not real. So I want to start off by introducing myself. Alvaro Venegas is my government name, but I do go by Coach Al. Have coached everything. I have coached sports. I have just decided to just be that mentor type individual and just give, find ways to give that. So this has got to be definitely a special moment in time. The fact that, you know, our technology is advanced enough for us to even be able to be in this room together. So as I see some people laying down, some people, you know, sitting down, some people, I'm standing up. Like I said, you know what, like I'm done sitting down. Like I want to stand up and I want to give you guys everything that I've got on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday. So again, my name is Coach Al. A little bit about me, background. I was born in Salinas, California, Central California. So up here now in Sacramento, the heat hasn't been as bad this year, so I'm happy about that. And I grew up playing sports. I was a DJ, sports. I've worked in the fields. I've picking strawberries growing up. I've barbecued for a living. Like I really have just done so many different things. And now I'm blessed to be in the opportunity to have two platforms. I don't even call it being a business owner, but I have two different platforms that work with schools, military personnel, staff, and it's all about revolved around building a better person, building you to the best of your ability. So building you up to be able to reach what you want to reach. So many of us talk about, you know, what we want in our goals, but what we don't think about many times is once we get there, how will we perform? Will we be burnt out by the time you get what you want? Like by the time you get your house, are you going to be burnt out? You don't want to be burnt out with a brand new house. You don't want to be burnt out with your first, you know, your first child. You don't want to be burnt out once you join the military. They put you through basic training and all of this. Like the point is to get through that. So by the time you get to where you want to be, you are who you want to be. So the idea of what I help people do is build themselves up to make sure we do that. So today, I have to thank each and every single one of you for joining in. So let's do this. Let's take a deep breath all together. So I believe there's 500 people on here or something, like some crazy number. So make sure that when you take that deep breath, take it as if 500 others are taking the air up too. So take your piece of the air. Like don't do a weak one. Like I want you to take yours because it belongs to you. Because there's 500 people that are about to do it at the same exact time. And I don't know how much air is out there, but hopefully there's enough for all of us. So here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Inhale. Ready? And exhale. We're going to inhale one more time. And exhale. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, the way Zoom works is this is not TV, meaning you are not just watching me. We are interacting. Now, there's many forms of interaction. It's not just voice. When I ask you to do a deep breath, if you do it, you will get more out of the experience than if you're just watching me, because I'm not going to bring out any props or anything. So, you know, we are here to connect. We're here to interact, and we're here to really learn, you know, how to be better people. So I'm going to say one word, and I want you guys to give me what comes to mind first. And I will just read off a couple of people. I'm going to go 5 people. The word is win. The word is win. Now, I want you to write down, if you have a piece of paper, I want you to write down 3 words that come to mind. So the word is win, W-I-N, win. All right, as I'm giving you guys time, I'm going to call on, I see S-R-A, wise. Oh, look at it. He's laying down. That's why I called you, because you're laying down. Go ahead and unmute yourself and give me the word that comes to mind when you think of win.
I didn't get a chance to write it down yet.
Well, but you can tell me, though. Tell me, what's the word that comes to mind?
Like personal success.
Personal success. Perfect. Thank you. You can unmute it now. Let's go with Moses. Moses, G-I-N-E-S. Word that comes to mind when you think of win.
I think of the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, there we go. The Golden State Warriors. Let's go with T-S-G-T Simas. S-I-M-A-S. Red hat. Let's go. What is it? What's the word that comes to mind when you think of win?
Money.
Money. Okay, great. Great. So everybody wrote down. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. So we think of the word win. Sometimes the reason I ask is because analyze what you wrote. Sometimes we think money. Some people put lose. Some people put uncomfortable. Like I don't just assume everybody wants to win automatically. Sometimes the word win has a negative connotation in our mind, and we need to be aware of that, because it's not a wrong thing, but it is something to be aware about. So the word win actually took on an incredible meaning for me, and I want you guys to write down, treat it as an acronym, okay? Let's treat win as an acronym. So I want you guys to write down, why is necessary. Let's go. Why is necessary? Win. Why is necessary? Now, the word win took on a complete new role for me at a very, very young age, right? Because, you know, winning to me as a kid meant beating someone at a game. That's what it meant. It meant beating someone. That's that simple. You either win or you lose. That's that simple. Now, if you have ever, and this is your own personal self, if you have ever lost, now I'm going to use the word in this way: lost, meaning lost something, lost someone, felt lost, maybe feel lost now. Like, if ever, at any point in your life, if you felt lost, let's take a deep breath, because and we're going to do it together, because the feeling of lost is such a lonely, dark, cold, and usually we don't just tell people I'm lost. You know, we don't just express it, but it's such a deep internal feeling. And what happens is that many times winning doesn't enter as deeply as lost does. So lost actually is deep in, like we feel it physically, like our body temperature changes when we think of lost. Now, if it's lost someone, or you felt lost at one point, let's just take a deep breath together. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Loss can be a scary thing. Loss can lead to a lot of negative and undesired action. So I've dedicated myself, and I've made it my mission to teach people how to win consistently, because it is far too often that as individuals, we face more losses throughout life than we do wins throughout life. And I want to show you all how we can turn that and get more daily wins versus losses. Because sometimes we put our win at something, at a huge goal, or we win when it's Friday, or when it's payday, or when we get the new promotion, or when we get the new car, the new shoes, the new girlfriend, right? Like that's a win. But I want to talk about, you know, the losses, because if we experience losing after so long, we start to really become, you know, depressed, and we can at times feel like we want to join something to belong in it. Now, here's where the Air Force to me is very, very special, because it's going to give you guys such a sense of belonging. But see, the Air Force is not just a team. We talk a lot about a team atmosphere. It's not just a team, it's a winning team. Therefore, when you're joining a team of winning, it is going to really test you, especially if you've ever been lost. Now, I was 6 years old growing up in Salinas, California. I was 6. I'm the youngest of 4. Brother, 2 sisters, mom, dad, very average Mexicano family. My parents don't speak English still to this day. So I grew up very just under that type of environment. Now, of course, if you can imagine, gangs, drugs was a real thing, but it wasn't like I felt in danger. It just growing up, it was just a thing until I started realizing how dangerous it really was. Now, at 6 years old, something happened. Something happened that was extremely traumatic, and it completely changed the way I started to see what was real and what wasn't, because it is relevant to today. So I was 6 years old, and I remember that around 2, 3 in the morning, my mom woke up and she went to the kitchen and she grabbed baking soda and she put it in her eyes. Okay, she grabbed the baking soda, like if you could just imagine the pain. So she poured it in her eyes. And I remember I got up and I looked at her, and I'm thinking, you're sleepwalking. She put it in her eyes and she said, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's just my eyes are watery, and the baking soda is going to help clear up the tears. And I said, oh, okay. But I remember the look. I remember the look was not a normal look. This was not somebody that I trusted. I didn't trust what she had said to me, but I let it go. Later that morning, my mom was actually sent over to the hospital. So my dad took her to the hospital. I didn't know anything. I'm 6 years old. That was about it. I didn't get to see my mom for about a week or so. They never told me anything. They said, stop asking questions. You're a little kid. Focus on school. Go play, right? Go outside. Do that kind of thing. So I'm going to give you as what I knew at the time, right? Now, come freshman year. So now let's go and fast forward. That's all I knew. That day happened, and I kind of kept it to myself. Didn't really say much. I'm still like, baking soda in your eye. It just doesn't make any sense. But okay, got it. Got to keep moving forward. So freshman year, did any of you ever play sports? Raise your hand if you play sports. Play sports. Awesome, awesome. So you know what, hopefully you guys were a part of a winning team. I was not part of a winning team. I was a winner, but I wasn't part of a winning team. Okay, so freshman year, and I will always remember this took on the idea of winning. Now, I want you guys to think about somebody, and I want you to write this down, somebody that you would do anything for to see them smile. You would be willing to do anything. They could be alive. They could be here with us. Anything to see them smile. Now, I don't want you to, I'm going to call on a couple of people. I don't want you to give me the relationship. I don't want you to tell me mom, dad, grandma. I want you to just give me the name. So just the name. So we're going to go with Trainee Rodriguez. Rodriguez 349, something, something, something.
Hannah and Valerie.
Hannah and Valerie. Thank you. Second person, we're going to go with Sergeant. Is SSGT mean Sergeant? I don't want to, I'm assuming that's what it means. I'm not from the military. You guys are all looking at me like this dude doesn't know. So Sergeant, and we're going to go Ardugu. I'm messing up every name.
That's close.
Let's go with the name. Who would you do anything for?
Ron.
Ron, thank you. Let's go with Trainee M. Flores, 349.
Melissa.
Thank you. Let's go with Trainee Andrews, 349.
Peter.
Thank you for sharing. Let's go with Trainee Shermer.
Amara.
Thank you. Now, I want you to really think about that for a second, because when I say anything, it really just does that. That's what it means. If somebody means so much to you that you'd be willing to do anything just to see them smile, like the power of what that means. Now, I will tell you my story. I'm a freshman. I'm a freshman in high school. I tried out for the football team. Excited. I'm a wide receiver. I'm coming out. I'm juiced. I'm ready for my first game. Now, games were played on Fridays. So here I am. It is Sunday, right? It is Sunday. And I remember walking into my parents' bedroom, and I went in there and I said goodnight to my mom, said goodnight to my dad, right? And of course, they're Spanish parents. So I say buenas noches to my dad, buenas noches to my mom. She says sueña con los angelitos. If you guys know that, if you guys don't know that, it's okay. But, you know, that's my Spanish mom says that to me, right? Sueña con los angelitos. Cool. It's about 10 o'clock. Went over to bed. And I remember I would always pray. I didn't know, you know, much about prayer. I didn't know if I was really doing it right, but I would just be like, man, I don't know. I felt wrong not praying. That's really why I did it, right? So I just, you know, take care of my mom, take care of my dad, take care of all of us. Here we go, right? So I'm asleep. 2 a.m, my door gets kicked wide open. Okay, it gets kicked open by my dad. My dad gets up and says, "Go get your mom." My mom, like, okay, no shoes. And he grabs me. I remember his hand grabs the back of my neck and he shoved me down the hallway, like, "Go get your mom." I went outside, the doors open. This is 2:30 in the morning, guys. So 2:30 in the morning, I went outside, I looked both ways, and I looked to my left, and I see my mom in a full sprint running down the street. Now, mind you, in my house, there was no real domestic violence. There was no alcoholism. I mean, a little bit my dad drank. There was no drug abuse that we knew of. It was nothing crazy. It was an average house, right? It was an average, everything was normal. Kind of like everything before COVID-19, everything's kind of just, nothing special is happening, just it's happening. Now, I ran down the street. I'm chasing my mom, and I finally caught up to her. And when I caught up to her, I turned her around. And when I turned her around, I said, Mom, wake up. You're sleepwalking. My mom, again, it brought me back to the day where I had seen her at 6 years old. And something wasn't right. I looked into her eyes and I said, Mom, wake up. And she said, somebody help. Somebody help. This man is grabbing me. Now, I'm a freshman in high school. I look into my mom's eyes and I said, Mom, you're scaring me. Mom, please wake up. Please wake up. You're scaring me. Grabbed her again. She took her hands off of me, my hands off of her. And she said, somebody help. This man is grabbing me. She's yelling at the top of her lungs. Now, this is 2:30 in the morning in the neighborhood. Now, mind you, me growing up, our relationship with the police was not existent. I'm a brown man, 2:30 in the morning, and this woman claims to not know me. So I can tell you that I had to respond as quickly as I possibly could. Now, I did not know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I did know who I was, and I did know who she was. That's what was a fact. Now, to her, I'm not her son. So at this moment, without any emotion, without any feeling, I decided to go into action. The first thing that I did was I called her by her name. Her name is Maria. So I said, Maria, it's going to be okay. I'm here to help you. Now, my arms around her were not as tight anymore. They were more of a comforting feel. That I'm here to help you, Maria. My name's Alvaro. It's going to be okay. You're safe. Now, this is my mom. But again, she's my mom. I'm not her son. Now, somehow, some way, we were able to walk back to the house. She sat down in the living room. My dad came out. And of course, that's a whole other case. I'm like, hey, man, don't talk to her. Don't aggravate her. She doesn't know who we are. I'm going to make her some tea. I mean, this is me in ninth grade. I don't know what I'm doing, but let's get into action. Because why? Because I care. That's the person for me that I would do anything to see her smile. And right now, she doesn't know who I am. I've lost my position. I've lost my job. I'm 12 years old. Like, I'm your son, but 12 years are out the door. So the time I put in at this point are not leverage. I'm not her youngest. I'm not her boy anymore. We're not in a relationship anymore. Now it's just a human and a human. Now I've got to give at a level. I've got to give with intent. Every word that I say, I must be aware of it. My body language, I must be aware of it. Because see, when we're given something, we become entitled to it. See, we're given a mom, we're given a dad, we're given a brother, we're given a house, we're given the opportunity to join the Air Force, and all of a sudden, we believe they need to give us more. So at this point, entitlement's out the door. I am not entitled to a mom at this point. That's all I knew. So I then proceeded to go to the kitchen, grab the phone, and I have a decision to make. Call 911 or don't. Now again, I don't have a relationship with these people. I don't. Everything has been negative for me when it comes to an interaction with police at this point. Second, I didn't want to be the one that made the call and then got taken away or got the family separated for whatever reason. So I closed my eyes and I said, if you exist, God, this is when you need to jump in, because I don't know what to do. I'm lost. Now, this feeling came over me and said, make the call. Made the call, and I explained to the operator that it was an emergency, but not really. That it was my mom, but she just doesn't know she's my mom. Like, it was a very confusing call, as you can imagine. This is still 3:30 in the morning. Still Monday. It's basically Monday. So police officers came and said, what would you guys like? We recommend that we take her into the emergency room, get her checked out. I obviously got to talk to her. I said, hey, we're going to help you out. This is okay. My name's Al. Went along with her, right? Now, when we showed up to the emergency room, they told me that they were going to go ahead and transfer her over to the mental institute. Okay? Mental institution. Now, when we showed up to the mental institution, I remember walking in, and they already knew somebody was coming. Now, this called her a frightened individual. Okay? Was coming with some mental issues. I remember the call was mental issues, frightened individual. So what they did is they grabbed a team of 4 men. They came up to my mom, stuck a needle in her neck. Okay, they stuck a needle in her neck, and they put a jacket. They put a jacket to make sure, the white jacket. You guys have all seen them in the movies. The white jacket. They put that white jacket on her, and all I remember my mom is doing is yelling, and they held me back because this anger, this emotion came over me. Because again, the person, when I asked you guys, think about someone you would do anything for just to see them smile. I just wanted to see my mom smile one more time. My mom, at the top of her lungs, yelled out, Alvaro, help. Now, she didn't yell out, son. She didn't yell out for anybody. She had yelled out for Alvaro, the person that at the point where she was lost, she made a connection with. Because connection and attachment is different. See, there was no attachment between me and my mom anymore, but there was now a brand new connection. So they forced her into a room. They held me back. Tears are coming down my eyes. I didn't let my mom, she didn't see me cry. My dad doesn't know English, so I'm translating, and I'm putting all of this pressure together. I'm not trained for this. But at the same time, I know what's right. I know I've got to care. I know I've got to step up. Now, managed to drive home. Me and my dad are not talking to each other. I'm looking out the window, attempting to hold in my tears. And my dad said, you could take the day off of school today, but tomorrow you got to go back. You got to keep going. You got to keep the family going. So we still don't know what's going on. Now it's Tuesday at school. My dad's at work. And I saw my dad begin to drink just a little bit more. Wednesday came, drinking a little bit more. Now, a little bit of the backstory is at this point, I'm the youngest of 4. My brother is incarcerated. My sister is 15 and I believe she's pregnant. She's about 2 weeks away from having her first. My other sister was disconnected, was attempting to start smoking a little bit, just like, I got to get out of here. So here I am. It's Tuesday. I'm at school. And I'm the motivator is not something you decide to do. You're just the energy dude. You know, you show up and everybody's like, "Ow, what's up, brother? You know, you didn't come to school yesterday. What happened?" I had to take my mom to the doctor. Just got a little sick or something. Is she good? Is she good? Are we still playing ball? Like, just, you know, everyone's still on this hype. Now, it hurts so bad not to be able to say anything. It hurts so bad. Now, I remember practice was coming, and Friday's the game. Now, I have another decision to make. My decision is, do I play or do I not play? Because I didn't feel like it. You know, when motivation comes, you're inspired, and then you just don't feel like it. Like, you just don't feel like doing anything. You just don't feel like getting up. I didn't feel like playing. But I had heard something that Kobe talked about, something that Michael Jordan talked about, something that Magic Johnson talked about. And they talked about this manifesting your dreams, speaking it into existence, writing it down, believing in yourself. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play the game. And I have a game plan. And I wrote it down. I said, I'm going to score 6 touchdowns, 1 for every member of my family. I'm going to win the game. And then when the newspaper comes to interview me, I'm going to say, this one's for my family. I love you, Mom. And then I'm going to cut that board out. I'm going to get the game ball. I'm going to sign it. And I'm going to give it to my mom. And I'm just going to do whatever it takes to make her smile, because my home team is losing at this point. Like, my home team is losing. So comes Friday, I read it. Like, here we go. 6 touchdowns. I got this. This is me. This is me. I spoke it into existence. I believe in myself. I'm gonna hone in all the emotion. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna ball out. I'm already used to not seeing my parents at the game, so it's just but I got them in here. I've got them in here. I'm juiced up. I'm ready. I don't even need music. I'm locked in. I'm in my zone. Here we go. First quarter ends. We're down 38-0. We're down 38-0. Holy shit, this is not going my way. I wrote it down. I prayed about it. I wrote it down and I prayed about it. Like I said it, I spoke it into existence, and it's not working. So of course, as you can imagine, at this point, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated and I don't know what to do. I'm getting stupid penalties because I'm pissed off. I'm upset. Now, I remember the coach grabbing me and telling me, Venegas, sit out. You're done. Get out. You're being stupid. And he said, one of these days, because of course I've always had this humor side of me, this ambitious, this just want to make it happen type of attitude. He says, one of these days you're going to find out that the world doesn't revolve around you. One of these days you're going to find out that it's not all about you. See, and everybody knows this, there's no I in, just go ahead and say it. There's no I in team. Now, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I'm telling you guys a story, like how it goes. If you guys are, like, I'm being transparent. So he said, there's no I in team. And I said, but there is a I in win. So upset, right? So upset. I hope that didn't get me in trouble. So I'm extremely upset. And he said, okay, well, if you can't play, then you can't win. You're suspended for 2 weeks. Now, that stayed with me. I don't know where that came from, but it stayed with me. And I remember that all I wanted to do was I wanted to bring joy back to the house. I wanted to switch. I wanted to change our losing to winning. I wanted to just for a moment, somebody celebrate something, because it sucks at home right now. My home, it sucks going home. Seeing my dad slouch, seeing my dad drunk, not seeing mom home. It's a cold house. It's not a home. Now I realized something. I realized something about that day, and I continue to use it today. When you say you would be willing to do anything for that person, that is your why. When you understand that your why is fuel, it's an energy source. It's an energy source that actually elevates your performance. So see, I had played sports before. I had already played before. But it wasn't what I was playing. is why I was playing. That made the difference. My energy, my passion. It didn't matter if we were down. I was ambitious about getting 6 touchdowns. I was ambitious about moving forward. When you start to think, whenever you're losing motivation and you really dig in and you think about this moment, and I'm going to ask somebody to share, but I want you to think about this moment. See, that moment right there, my mom then came home and she went to a depressive state. What had happened was my mom was 52 when she went to sleep. When she woke up, she was 13. So there was a mental illness. She suffers of a mental illness. She has an episode about every 3 to 4 years. It's not as drastic, but now we know. Now she has medication. Now she works out. She does fitness. She does all of these things. But I realized that I had never known what the word win really meant. I had never known my why. I didn't know it was that deep. Because you see, a loss feels deep and a why is right there too. So you can start your day with the win. Winning is not the end result. Even though we were down 38-0, I've been winning now. Now I understand. Now I can make my mom smile on a daily basis. You see, so I got my win ultimately. I didn't get my small goal, but I got my win. And the reason why is because I know my why. And as long as I know my why, I will always have the motivation necessary in order to perform. So I ask you right now that you think about the person that you wrote down. I want you to think about a moment. And I'm going to give you guys about 2 minutes to just write down. And I'm going to ask 2 people to share. The moment of impact, the moment that you remember that's vivid in your mind, if you really think about it. A moment that just stands out. Like if there was a story, there was a movie, a story about your life, this scene would come out in that movie. This chapter would be written. Where were you? What were you wearing? What was the scene? I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. So, write it down. This is for you. I'm going to ask, as he's writing, I'm going to ask Mr. Rafael Perez. Do you want to share, sir, your moment of impact with this why, with this person?
Yes. So I was writing about my graduation from college. I was very proud. And I remember like I had all these questions. So I finished this goal of my life. I remember what I was wearing and everything. But then I have more questions. So what is next? What is next? What I'm gonna do? And it seems for me like besides that goal, I had to start setting other goals. Like I wasn't completely fulfilled from that situation.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Let's give that a round of applause. Let's give that a round of applause. Let's go with trainee M. Flores. Who did you write down as your why?
I wrote down Melissa as my wife.
Melissa, give us the relationship that Melissa has to you.
She's my sister.
Your sister, Melissa.
Yes.
Little sister or big sister?
Older sister.
Older sister. Okay, tell us about the moment that your older sister, Melissa, had a great impact in your life.
I just remember one night, it was just, how I explain it, it's just, it was just a bad night. It was just a bad night that I was going through, and I just needed to vent off, get a lot of my frustration out, and she was able to listen to it, and she kind of helped tell me like things are going to be okay, and that I'd get through.
So she had your back then, and you basically want to pay that forward and demonstrate to her how much it meant that she was
Yes.
there for you. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Let's give that a round of applause. Give that a round of applause. Let's go with Messena. Messena. LTCOL Messena.
Yeah, I've got one. I'd rather not. I'd rather not share. But I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Now, I do want, and I thank you for turning on your mic and letting us know. Now, the point of sharing isn't to let other people know, but as long as you know, like the power is in you knowing. And when you know why you're doing something, because see, I didn't give you guys my life story. I told you guys a Sunday. Like that, I didn't tell you about the 9 times I've been shot at. I didn't tell you about the, like, I don't, it's not your life story. It is moments of feels, pockets. And Messena, I bet you anything, it is so there. It is so at the forefront of his mind that it's like, you know what? I got it. It did it for me. I drilled down. I got the feel. And that's what it's about. It is not necessarily about, see, winning many times comes the why comes from a painful place. Like positivity, like when you see someone smile, you see Coach Allen, he's like, dude, I'm excited. I'm not drilling, I'm not pulling from a positive excitement. See, excitement is a small source. Excitement happens. It's like adrenaline. It's a small source of a tank that we have. It's one of our smallest tanks. So think of fuels of tanks of fuel. Excitement is one of the smallest ones. So we believe that through excitement is how we get motivated. And that's not the way it works. See, the way it works is when you've been through something like Messena has, and that's and like Flores has, like myself, like all of you. See, you hear that, oh, well, my story, growing up, it was tough. Welcome to leadership, right? Welcome to the Air Force. Like, we have a story. It is not our job to tell our story. It's our job to use our experiences as fuel, because winning has everything to do with why you're doing it in the first place. See, if you don't know why you're joining the Air Force, you're not going to win. If you don't know why you're putting your life at risk for your country, for the person next to you, if you don't know why you're doing that, there's going to be no meaning. There's going to be no significance. See, we're not after success. We're after being significant. The Air Force is all about doing something that is greater than you. So imagine that for a second. Because why you're doing it and who you're doing it for are two different things. Many times I talk to teachers and they say, well, my why is the kids I teach. No, that's who you're putting your energy onto. But why you're doing it is deep down in there. And it's up to you to do your own reflection. And if you got emotional or it felt like, oh gosh, I didn't think this motivator was gonna make us cry. Like, what the hell? He's supposed to, and I'm not supposed to excite you. I'm supposed to allow you a moment, because you already have the power. You already have the why in you. I can't motivate you. See, motivation, the root word is motive. Motive is the reason. So I can't give you a reason to get up. I can't give you a reason. You've got the reason already. And it's not coming. It's never what's in front of you that's going to motivate you. It's never the money. It's never the paycheck. It's never when I graduate. Like, we think motivation is coming, and it's never external. External motives wear off. External motives wear off. Internal motives, you've already lived through it. See, you lived through the pain. Our job is to process that pain so we can use it as fuel to move us forward, to propel us forward. So when I want you to think, when you think win, I need you to know why you're playing the game in the first place. When you think of win, why are you even getting up? Because why you're doing it will most definitely affect how you do something. When you I don't know how many of you have had a job, like a sucky job, like the jobs that just suck. I'm going to go to Mervin's. I used to, and if any of you worked at Mervin's, I worked at Mervin's, right? It sucked. It was just the worst job ever. And actually, it was not that bad. But in the field, I worked in the field. But see, I enjoyed it. And I remember enjoying it because I knew why I was doing it. I knew why I was doing it. I was doing it so I can get money to help my parents. That was my why. So that's why I enjoyed it. I was the fastest. I was the quickest. I was laughing, telling all the jokes out there in the heat, hiding my face because I didn't want my 6th grade friends to see me working in the field. Like it was a real thing. But see, why you're doing it will change your lens. Because when you're going through a hard time that you've all been through, I can tell you, there's 500 people on this Zoom call that have all been through something difficult. And if you don't understand how to process that pain, it will always, see, pain will either be your passport or it will be your prison. You've heard people like, oh man, I went through too much stuff. I went through too much stuff, so I'm not going to be able to. Like, I've had it really hard. Now, I'm not calling you weak. It is not a weakness or a strength thing. It is you haven't spent enough time processing that pain, because it's not about accepting it. It's about literally taking that pain, turning it into fuel, and using it to propel you to be your passport towards where you want to go. Or that pain will consistently be your prison. It's that easy. It's either a prison or a passport. That's what pain is. Welcome. Welcome. We've all had it tough. Now, it's not about what story is tougher or what was difficult, but in this case, I can tell you that now win is a speech that I've said in assemblies. I'm saying it with you guys. I'm using it over and over again. And what I help people do is win. Because if we can process our pain, our small losses, our defeats, when we feel defeated, if we know how to process that, we will continue to achieve a whole lot more than we thought we could in the first place. So that is when I discovered my will to win. And since then, we've continued to not only keep her healthy, but we've also continued to share the why is necessary. So make sure that as you're joining and you're embarking into the unknown, I've said this before, is right now, many of you might be, I don't know what's next. I don't know what I'm going to do next. So you don't know the what, you don't know the where. But take time and know who, because once you get to know who you are, no matter where you're at, no matter what you do, you will always know who you are. And that's what I want to leave you guys with. My name is Coach Al. If you guys, I'm going to open it up for questions right now. And just really, I hope that the exercise works in that way so you guys can continue to elevate yourself. And anytime that you hit that bump, you hit that loss, just go back to the why, go back to what, and it might change throughout time. You might have a little one, now it's your baby boy, baby girl, now it used to be your sister, now it's your grandma. Like, it can change. You have fuel sources, you have so much fuel within you. It's just a matter of learning and trusting your drilling process of getting to uncover the true potential that you have, because you're gifted. See, your gift and beliefs, that's what you have. You have your belief system and you're gifted. You're all gifted individuals. Regardless of what you believe in, there is something you're really amazing at. And see, when you begin to give that gift, and I've learned this, a gift that is not shared is simply a possession. So you possess. So imagine me. I didn't speak, by the way. I didn't speak till I was 6 years old. Like, when that happened, when that trauma happened, something happened and I began to speak. So I didn't talk for the first 5 years of my life. Now I can't shut up. Now I'm like, I'm like, the world is lucky I can't sing, because y'all, like, I'd be singing, and I'm just, that's what I can't do. I can't sing, but I can speak. I can speak. So I will tell you that you are gifts and you are belief systems. That's all you are, your core values. So know your core values and trust your gifts. And that's what will open up doors for you moving forward. And use your why. Use your pain as your passport. Use your pain as fuel versus allowing it to be your prison that continues to hold you back from reaching your full potential. I have to thank each and every single one of you for being brave and taking on this journey. It is not going to be easy. But see, you weren't built for easy. Think about that for a second. You were not built for easy. If it was easy, Al would be in it. I would be doing it. You're not built for easy. Like, if you wanted to be built for easy, I mean, come on, think about it for a second. You're built. You were created. You've been through stuff. You are perfect for your gift, for what you are great at. So take that with you And the idea is to just continue to use this time to reflect a little bit, do the exercises, write it down, share it. If the person is still with you, is still with us, take a moment, send them a text and say, you know what, I'd do anything to make you smile. I love you. I do take an action on the feeling, because when we just have the feeling, inspiration is a spark, and it is up to us. It is our responsibility to do something with it, because it goes. Trust me. I've said all this, and you felt it at some point, and then it'll go, because energy keeps moving. Energy wants to be moved. Energy wants to be moved by somebody, and if you don't take it and do something with it, it goes on to the next person, and then the next person, and the next person. So my name is Coach L. If you guys do want to ever follow on Instagram, I'm sure they'll put that information out, but it's one word, man on a mission. The O's are zeros, man on a mission. O's are zeros, and I'd love to be able to contribute to your personal growth in the best way possible. That's why I'm here, and I'm doing my best to continue to give during these times. So I will open it up for some questions. If you guys have questions, just go ahead and unmute yourself. I believe you have the power to, and I will stay here for as long as I can. So let's open it up.
Hey team, if you have a question for Coach Al, go ahead and raise your hand so he can see who's actually got a question, and then that way we can unmute one person at a time. That way it's just a little bit more controlled for Coach Al.
I see one hand. Oversend.
How's it going, Coach Al?
Oh man, you know what? It is going incredible, man. It is a positive day. It is a positive day for sure, man. I'm blessed to be here. How are you doing?
Doing great, sir. Trainee Oversend, reports is ordered. I just wanted to say thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And wanted to ask, what made you want to become a motivational speaker?
I'm going to go. Thank you for that question. You know, I realized that wants come and go, and I wanted success, right? I wanted to be on TV. That's what I wanted to do originally. I wanted to be in the military, SWAT. I wanted to open a restaurant. I mean, there's a lot of wants. But what I realized was that when I saw that my voice was doing something, I took it as a responsibility. So I didn't want to become a motivational speaker. I still don't want to be a motivational speaker. But see, when it's a responsibility, you carry it out. And you carry it out with such determination, such drive, such energy. Like if you think about a responsibility, if you're a dad, you're going to be a dad with so much passion. Like if your little one gets hurt, it's like, it's not about wanting to be a dad at that point. At that point, your responsibility is to be that. As a soldier, as an airman, as a person that is going after significance, it became my responsibility. And I break down words, and the word responsibility to me means ability to respond. So whenever there's people that are lost, or there's a lack of motive in the room, it's been called upon me to answer that call, to come in and respond with my ability. So to answer your question, I've never wanted to be a motivational speaker, but I did always feel motivated to speak.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Another question.
Coach Al, how's it going?
Oh, it's going incredible, man. It's going incredible. Who am I speaking?
Sierra Redmond. It's not really a question. I just wanted to say thank you, because I appreciate the motivational talk. As my mom always said, sometimes there's going to be a message from God. You just got to be ready to receive it. And I think this was like one of the perfect times. So I just want to say I appreciate it, man.
That's beautiful. You know what I'm going to leave you with, and share this with your mom. I speak to a lot of kids, and I speak to a very diverse crowd. I haven't been overseas yet, but the idea is that one day I will. But I have had a lot of different religious backgrounds. So I use universe, or I use energy a lot. But I started using the word God. And to anybody out there that see, the meaning of it is the same thing across the board. It's just the word. So I want to give you the acronym GOD, and God is gives open doors. Gives open doors. That's what the word God has meant to me. Because the gift that I've trusted, meaning self-belief, has opened doors for me. So I share that with Mom. Thank you guys. Thank you for that question, for that comment. And yeah, she is right. The message, the idea is that it comes through you. So thank you for that, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Flipping through pages, so you can go ahead and, if you have your hand up, go ahead and unmute yourself, and let's get the
Oh, my name is Sergeant Gia.
Sergeant Gia.
Yeah, I have a question. How did you find out your gift?
Woo! How did I find out my gift? That's a good question. Reflecting, man, reflecting. I think we have gifts. I'm gonna go with plural. And what was interesting is I actually found it out, and I'll tell you why. I didn't find out at the moment, but looking back, I realized. There was more of a realization. So I remember I was in 2nd grade, and I was kicked out. I got kicked out all the time for talking. Funny enough, right? I was a class clown and just always talking, out of turn. And I remember this one time, I would always crumble up the notes, and I'd be all upset on the way to the office. And I remember this one time I crumbled it up, and then I opened it. And I said, let me see what the teacher said about me. Let me see what smack she's talking about me. And it said, Al is never disrespectful, but when he speaks, he engages and captivates the classroom, which makes it very difficult for me to get them refocused and learning. So I read captivate and engage. And I was like, oh, like, that's it. Like, it shows up. If you really start to look at your life, it showed up. You just gotta trust it. You just gotta trust it. So I would say, captivating and engaging was my attention grabbing, like grab attention and pull people in, is something that was just getting me in trouble. And I had to learn to value it. So I have to watch my words. I have to start being disciplined. I practice speech. I read a lot more because, when you trust something, I wanted to make sure that what I was inputting was healthy, because I could have a gift to captivate and engage and do something negative with it. As in 5th grade, I was called a gang leader because I would get the whole class to play against another class and then fight. And like, it was just discovering, like, yo, I have this thing, and it's just putting it to use. So that's how I would say I discovered it, was more through a realization over time. Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
Who's next? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
All right, team. Coach Al, we definitely appreciate everything you did for us today. Appreciate you coming on and going over your story. I mean, you left us with a good message, pretty much telling all of our folks something that they got homework to do. Go home and find out what's your why. Who are you winning for? There's a lot of reflection that we can do on our own time, but thank you for opening that door for us and talking to us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It means a lot to me. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And continue, because we need you all to be strong for us. And I know now now this is a new why. So just know that, like, now this moment for me, I was like, are you serious? I just made myself accountable to 500 of you. So you can't see me on the street losing now. Like, I just called myself a winner, and I told you my why. That now holds me accountable to continue to win and move forward. So hopefully when you bring it up to mind, whether you say it out loud or not, that accountability starts to come in, and we need you all to win for us, guys. We really do. A lot of kids look up to you. You're still one of the biggest heroes, and you put on that uniform, and it represents a lot, but the person wearing it has a lot to represent in the community to uplift. So thank you all for being incredible. Have an incredible rest of your training. I've got to go serve family now. So bye, guys.
Thank you, Coach. All right, team, we're going to do a short break. We're going to take 5. So when you go off, don't log out completely. You can just stop your video. If you need to do anything, mute your mic. And then, that way we won't see if you're, grabbing a snack or something like that in the background. But don't log off, because then it's a challenge for Master Sergeant Adams to try to get everybody logged back in on time. Coming up next, we do have Doc Springer and Master Sergeant Jack and Mick. They're going to be coming on to us. And on the break, we're going to have some videos and stuff for you to watch as well. All right, so we'll see you back at 1400.